All right, hey, it's Saturday, June 5th. Bringing you your weekly Lake of the Ozarks fishing report. Like always, every week, it's brought to you by James and Denise Dill Guide Service and Crockett Bait Company here on Lake of the Ozarks. So, our lake level, it's come up a little bit. We've got it at Summer Pool right now. It's last I looked was this morning. It was 659.15. So we might as well say, it's pretty much full pool right now. Current wise, we're running anywhere from 20 to 35,000 cubic foot per second, which is quite a bit. It's got the fish relating to points, and it's got some wanting to getting out on the some of the deeper ledges and deeper structure. Truman, I believe, was 10 or 11 foot high, so that should be give us a good amount of water in Truman to run through the Ozarks throughout June. I know we're supposed to get a little more rain next week, which I'm good with that. The longer we can keep current, a decent amount of flow going through the Ozarks, our bite's going to continue to be really good. The water temp is still around the upper 60s. I'd say 67 to maybe 71. Really, I haven't really seen anything, 70 over 71. A couple days it was sunny, but it seemed like for the last week and a half, 2 weeks, it was cloudy and rainy every day. So that it's been keeping the water temp down. Of course, today it was bright and sunny. Yesterday it was sunny. It doesn't take too many of those bright sunny days to shoot that water up in temperature. But man, the fishing down here has just been excellent for the last, I say 2.5, 3 weeks. It's really come on good. Myself, Denise, we've had just some excellent, really good trips. A lot of fish, a lot of big fish. Of course, I can always tell you, a lot of us guides, we all talk, and all the other guides I'm talking to, they're having really good trips too. So it's just a great time to come down to the Ozarks and have a good time, catch a lot of fish, and catch some good ones. We had a trip the other day. This guy come down and basically we went out looking just for bigger fish. Not numbers, just bigger fish. And this guy just had one of them really good days. We estimated 21, 22 pounds, his best 5, and it was just excellent. And it was I think we were out 6 hours, so that's pretty good amount of fish in 6 hours. And I expect that bite to be pretty good for at least another 3 weeks. And the baits are pretty simple. It's just kind of post spawn fishing. Obviously the Crockett Shaky Pro Head has been our #1 bait. It's just rigged with a mag finesse worm. Our 1/4 ounce, a little bit lighter, has been a lot better. The slower fall really seems to make a big difference. Most of these fish are from 2 foot to 8 foot is where we're catching most of the stuff. Most of them are still on more ledgy type rocks, not necessarily baseball boulder size rocks. It's more ledgy stuff is what seems to be the most consistent for us. That finesse worm has been really productive. And then also another bait is on the same head, the 1/4 ounce head, but a little baby brush hog. Something with a little more movement, a little more action some days. Or if you have a couple people in the boat, one of you throw that little brush hog and the other one throw the mag finesse worm, and see who's catching the most fish. Or if someone's catching more, maybe switch. But our experience has been you catch about equal amount. Maybe the guy up front will be throwing a worm and the guy in the back's throwing the brush hog, and you both catch about the same amount of fish. So it's kind of for whatever reason, some fish are in a different mood. They'll let that finesse worm go by, but then they'll pick up something with a little more action. So just something you might want to try. I'm still throwing it on 12-pound test, 12 or 15. I still like the 12. It just lets it move more freely. 7-foot medium action rod with a Lew's 8-to-1 reel. all my finesse type baits, that's kind of what I'm throwing. When I say finesse, you know, small jigs, small shaky heads, that seems to be the best setup. Topwater bite's been good in the mornings. If it's clear, if it's cloudy, overcast, you can throw it all day long. The other day we threw it, the worm bite wasn't what I expected to be. We started throwing topwater and right away started catching them, and it was probably 10:30 before we started throwing it. Of course, it was cloudy and overcast, which is perfect day for it. The fish will get out and roam a little more. They'll come up off the bottom, and you know, they'll come up and kind of suspend, maybe 3-4 foot down, and it, you know, obviously it makes for a lot better topwater bite. So, you know, for that topwater, just throwing the Old Faithful spook. This is a 1-knock spook in bone color. Probably, you know, like I said, it's my favorite one. I throw it all the time. I switch the hooks out usually on it, but I'm throwing it on 12-pound monofilament. And this is actually a jerkbait rod. It's just got a lot of action. You know, a little bit limber. I'd say probably a light to medium action. You know, a 7-to-1 lose reel. So just like always, throw it on monofilament so that water line floats on top of the water, and when you're working at the action, it remains on top of the water, and that line won't sink and hamper your bait's movement. You know, the buzzbait, been throwing buzzbait, catching a few on buzzbaits. Just a crocketer 1/2 ounce is what we've been throwing, just kind of downsized from what I normally throw, the 3/4. But in the black and gold, if it's real cloudy, overcast. And another deal we've been doing is been throwing a white one, and we've been trailing it up with a tube. Just this is a smoked red flake tube. It keeps it buoyant. It has a lot of action back there, and it's just been working out real well as a trailer. So if you've never tried that, give that a try. You know, you buy tubes anywhere. You know, Crocketer has a full line of tubes. We sell that one. There's a lot of tubes out there, but you know, just something if you're wanting to switch it up a little bit, a little different action on your buzzbaits, try putting a tube on it. It's been working for us here lately. This is actually our little 3/8 ounce bait, or you know, head knocker buzz bait. So you know, putting that on there. The tube also adds a little bit of weight to it, so that smaller buzz bait, you can throw it on any of the bait casters, and that extra weight will really let you get that bait out there and cast it. Where sometimes on that lighter buzz bait, we have to throw it on a spinning rod and reel just because it's a little bit lighter bait and it doesn't want to go out there. But if you put something heavier on it, some sort of heavier trailer, you know, whether it be a swim bait or like this, a tube, it gives it that extra weight. No problem throwing it on a bait caster. So those baits, as far as topwater, the spook, the buzz bait, has been producing really well. Some days we also will throw the storm chug bug. That's been working real well, just right up to the bank. And most of this stuff, all these baits are point related. You know, right on main lake points or just inside the points is where pretty much everything's been coming. We've been kind of going in the backs, or not in the backs, but down the bank in from the points. And the further we get back, the slower the bite gets. So that's been our experience. And like I've been saying, as long as they keep running this current, I don't care what time of year it is, these bass are going to relate to the current. And it usually means going out to either a secondary point or main lake point of some sort. Bluff ends, things like that are excellent. And all I ever, you know, would probably tell you is just kind of keep an eye on your lake maps and try to follow the channel around, whether it be a creek channel or the old original river channel, where it comes up to the banks or where it comes up to the points. That's going to be your most productive points. Even though the lake's full, when they're running current like that, that current still relates and still flows in line with the old river channel. So just keep that in mind if you're looking for a place to start. Just follow the channel around this lake, and you can follow it from one end to the other. This past week, I've had trips in the Gravois. I had trips down by Bagnell Dam. I had one up at the 50. Yesterday I was in the Nianguas. Day I was in the Glaze. So I completely covered pretty much the whole lake, and I did this exact same patterns on every single trip throughout the lake, and it worked everywhere. So as far as a place or an area of lake that you need to fish, it doesn't matter right now. The only thing I'll say about that is up lake, up the Osage, say 40 mile, 42, 44 on up is pretty dirty right now. So the fish are there still relating to the points, and they're still biting, but they're a lot shallower. You know, say, I mean, from the bank out to 5 foot of water. So, and top water's still been working. You just gotta run it shallower. Expect most of your bites to be, you know, from the bank out to say 8 foot of water, and then we've just been bringing it in. You get down lake, you know, some of the fish will pull out just a little bit further and chase the bait out a little further off the bank, I guess. But still, the structure has been pretty much the same, just more ledgy or shelf rock is what I've been relating to. Honestly, I hadn't been in the Niangwas much at all the last several weeks, and yesterday I've done a trip in the Niangwas, and I just kind of fell back on what we had been doing on the other end, parts of the lake, down lake, Glaze, and I thought, well, we'll just see how it works, and if it works, we'll stay pretty close in the Niangwas, and it worked right away. We started catching fish. We never left the Niangwas doing the exact same thing. So it doesn't matter where you're fishing, where your place might be, a resort, you know, just follow these patterns, and it's going to work. They're going to continue to work for at least 3 more weeks. These exact same patterns, what we're going through now. You know, those are all your new post-spawn fish, the ones just coming off the beds, are just coming off, maybe protect and fry. Those fish are all going to be relating to these patterns. We have been starting to catch some fish out, and you know, some post spawns. They're all healed up. You can tell they just got a little bit of you know, markings on them from the spawn and going through all that, but they're pretty much healed up. They're getting fat again, and some of those fish, they're already backed out. You know, obviously we're throwing like the 6XD and just a shad pattern. This is probably my favorite crankbait right here. It gets down there, I don't know, depending on the line you're throwing. You know, I'll throw it on 10-pound fluorocarbon. It'll get way down there. This one will probably get down there about 16 foot. I watch it on a live scope to see how deep it's getting. It'll get down there 16 foot, and that's probably adequate for most of your fish. I haven't found them. Found some fish, you know, 25 foot on them breaks, some ledges. And on those, we're throwing a bigger shaky head, like a 5/16, or even the 5/8, and a longer Magnum finesse worm or trick worm here. You know, a longer one, and I'm throwing that in June bug color. Head color, this one's actually on green, black, brown. That head color does not matter, I promise you. They're relating to more what kind of bait it is, what it's doing, where it's at. You put it in front of them, they're going to bite it. Another bait is starting to come on. It'll come on even better. It's a big swim bait, the big Zoom swimmer. I just rig it on a 3/4 ounce Crocodile reaction head is all this is. You can see the line ties coming out the nose, got a big beefy hook, and it just pairs up with this thing perfect. You know, I'm throwing in on 17-pound test, a 7'3". This is a Falcon medium heavy, and a 8-to-1 lose reel. You know, you just want a long rod. You want to really throw that bait way out there, let it sink to the bottom. Hits the bottom, start reeling that thing, reel it for about, say, 10, 12 foot. Stop it again, let it go back to the bottom, hit the bottom, and start reeling again. You're just trying to keep in contact with that bottom until you get to that break, to where you break from 15, 18 foot to where it breaks off into the channel that might be 50 foot. If you can bounce that swim bait off right where it breaks and your bait comes through there, that's where you're going to get the bites. So just keep that in mind. Watch your electronics. You know, the live scopes, you hear me talking about it all the time. It's incredible, especially for ledge fishing. It's probably where I use it. Number one, it's ledge fishing. You look at the ledge, You see it, you watch your bait, you see if the fish are there, how they're reacting. It just saves so much time on that. The crappie has slowed down, has slowed way down actually. I'm still seeing a lot of crappie relating to brush piles, maybe 15 foot of water. You see them there, but it's hard to get too many of them to bite. I've been still running that little swimmer from Kitech, that little 3-inch, and anything kind of shad color on a 16th ounce or an 1/8 ounce head. That's been working best. Just watch, throw it, let it sink down to where you think that brush is, and then just start swimming that thing real slow to where it comes right over that brush or have a little bit of contact. And if the fish are aggressive or feeding, they'll come out and hit that thing. That bite it's still there, but it's slow, catching a lot of smaller fish. And the only other thing is starting to shoot docks. Some of these main lake bigger docks, and I'm just throwing the Bobby Garland bluegrass color. It's kind of a chartreuse blue, thrown in on the same head, but shooting docks, shooting swim platforms, shooting it way back underneath there, and letting it sink real slow. And some of you happen to let it sink down 15, even 20 foot of water to actually get a bite. So, the crappie, you can still catch them. It's just getting tougher, at least on me, until they kind of resituate, get more in their summer patterns. The only other thing on crappie, I don't have any of them out, but your Bandit 300 crankbaits, you can start trolling those. That's probably been the best bite for crappie, is just troll bluffs. Just troll right down a bluff to where you have an intersection with creeks or coves. That's where most of the crappie have been. If you have some decent, some Garmin's, just keep an eye on it. Put it on down image and just troll along until you see your cluster of crappie on your graph. And then you're gonna know, you're probably 40 foot behind the boat, 30, 40 foot with your little crankbaits you're trolling. And once you go over that school, you'll know you're gonna come through them, and then you're gonna catch some crappie on them crankbaits. And once you find a school of them, you can go back and forth trolling and catch plenty of fish like that. I said it. It's been cloudy and kind of cool still, but we're getting into them summer months now. So I guess what I just touch on is just taking care of yourself in the summer. While you're out there fishing, it gets hot. We kind of ignore it or kind of forget about it a little bit because we're out there having fun, enjoying it, catching fish. But I'm not a big lotion guy myself at all, but I do really like these, like this AFCO. These, I just call it summer shirts. They're breathable, they're lightweight, and they protect you from the sun without having to rub all that stuff on you. These are actually cooler for me than wearing a t-shirt and bare arms. So, shirts like this will keep you cool, keep you from getting burnt. Another one is liquid. Keep yourself hydrated out there. Working the ambulance, a lot of our calls, believe it or not, in the summer or dehydration or a lack of keeping yourself hydrated. It just affects people differently. It affects you mentally. It gets you mentally fatigued. Just your cognitive response may slow. There's just a lot of things just from being dehydrated, which is very simple to keep yourself hydrated, extremely important. I just carry a Yeti style cooler cup, fill it full of ice and straight water. Gatorade's good. All these other mineral waters, they're good, but there really is no substitute for just straight water while you're out there fishing. Just keep yourself hydrated, and you're going to see it's going to make a big difference just in everything, the way you feel, and maybe prevent some problems caused by getting dehydrated. Another thing is glasses, sunglasses. I know pretty much everyone's got glasses. I've got several pairs in here. I always have them on in summertime. Couple reasons. Obviously, I want to protect my eyes from the sun, the rays. I want to be able to see, the water, my line, what's going on. But another big thing is it protects my eyes from hooks. On trips, we throw a lot of treble hooks. We throw everything. Jigs. I've seen jigs come back, hit the glasses, treble hooks, you name it. and these glasses will protect your eyes. And I encourage, and normally if someone doesn't have glasses on a trip, I give them one of my pair of glasses, so everyone's wearing glasses to protect your eyes. So there's probably the three most important things during summer fishing. There's a lot of good glasses out there. This is a pair of solar bats. I've been wearing solar bats probably, man, since the early Central Pro-Am days. Probably, man, I don't know, in the 80s, I guess, probably. But and I get new pairs all the time. They're good, durable glasses. They've got several lens sizes, colors, different styles of them, and you'd be surprised at the price compared to some of the others out there. I think this pair is probably $70 pair of glasses. So you don't have to spend a fortune. Just do a little research, look at the reviews, but keep your eyes protected, keep yourself hydrated. Don't get out there and get sunburnt, overheated. Wear a hat. Obviously, I always got a hat on. Got this bald spot, on the back. Can't get that burnt. So I got my hat. I'm ready to go fishing. Got me a good pair of shorts, good comfortable pair of shoes. Just keep yourself comfortable. Keep yourself hydrated out there. Man, I don't know what else I can tell you this week other than, like I said, things ain't going to change a whole lot for the next 2 or 3 weeks. And then we're going to start getting into more summer patterns where things really change. If they shut down the current and we don't have this amount of current, fish will start separating and it's kind of spreading out. Some will relate to drop-offs, brush piles, some will suspend, but that's a whole nother deal we'll go over in a few weeks. But until then, lake's busy. It's been busy. Lake race was this weekend. I don't know what we got on next weekend. I think there's that parade, a boat parade where they're going to try to break the world record, which is like 1,140 boats parade. So, and that's going on Saturday, I believe it is. Just a heads up on that. So, lake's going to be busy. So get out there early, enjoy it early, then get off and do something else. Maybe go to one of our great restaurants down here at the lake. Man, Denise and I, we travel a little bit when we get a chance, and the biggest thing we like to do, or at least I like to do, is search out the best local restaurants where we're going. And we've got a lot of them here. We've got some great ones on the Osage side. I hate to even just mention names because I don't want to forget somebody. But Hooks, Bentley's, Baxter's, those are your fine restaurants. Denise and I went to a new one to us. It was called the Reserve, and it's actually in the same cove as Backwater Jack's, and it was the neatest atmosphere, some of the nicest people, and the best service. It was a neat restaurant. So if you haven't been in a Reserve, maybe look that place up and go visit them. We've got several other restaurants all on the west side over here where we live. Of course, we got the Branding Iron. The Branding Iron is the best restaurant on the west side. We've got other restaurants on this side. We've got a lot of good ones. Got a lot of choices, but you're not going to beat the Branding Iron for people, company, cold drinks, the best food, the best prices. Branding Iron's it on the west side. But there are some other ones. I think Out 7, Old Tommy's it's called, up in kind of Gravois, Lori area. You've got Val's. I think she just does breakfast and lunch. Great place, family-owned place. You got Chances Are, they've been there forever. Great people, great food. Man, there's all kinds of stuff opening up. Mexican restaurants, we got one there at Greenview, 7 and 5 there for Mexican restaurants. There are actually 2 of them there. There's one in Lori, but just excellent service on this side of the lake. I hear a lot about lack of employees or staffing or enthusiasm or good service. I'll be honest, guys. We've been to JB Hooks. We've been to the Reserve in the last couple of weeks. We go to Branding Iron. It seems like every other night. Been to some of these others, the Mexican restaurants. I have not witnessed the lack of enthusiasm or bad service on any of them at any level. Excellent service, just pleasant people. Just anyways, it's just it's great to see some of the people and talk to them and the service we get here at the Ozarks. But that's kind of how we do it here at the Ozarks. Everyone's welcome at the Ozarks. Just come here to have fun. Don't come here to start no trouble or act up. Just come here, have fun, enjoy Lake the Ozarks. Until next week, we'll see you.